Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm Paul McCarthy, and today I'm joined by Jennie Gillam from Red Fish Accountancy. Jennie, it's great to have you with us today. Could you start off by just telling us a bit more about your business?
Sure, we're an accountancy practice based just outside Horsham. We deal with a lot of startups, especially techie startups, and we provide a full sort of, I guess they call it outsourced finance function nowadays. We'll do bookkeeping, management accounts, and your payroll, as well as your year-end accounts and tax and personal tax, and yeah, all encompassing. There are 11 of us, including me at the moment. Probably going to be recruiting another 1 or 2 people this year as well.
Fantastic, brilliant. And you said techie startups. Was that intentional at the beginning, or is it something you fell into?
I think we fell into it really. I started, I guess my first one that I did, which is a household name most people know, is Zoopla.
Oh, yeah.
So we did Zoopla's accounts for the first couple of years when they were first going, and very tiny, obviously, not like they are now. And through that, I got a lot of really great contacts in that world. And it's a really tiny world. The venture capital backed, the venture capital world is very small. And the techie startup world, everyone knows everyone. I mean, I've got some clients that know each other, but they weren't mutually introduced to me, if you see what I mean. So yeah. So it's quite a small world, and we get recommended a lot. So yeah,
Fantastic.
that's how we ended up in that world.
So recommendations, best form of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So predominantly technical side of things. And why did you start your business? What made you start Red Fish?
Gosh, well, I'm not a very good employee.
Bosses aren't.
So I worked for myself for a long time. It was just me going out, effectively filling that sort of outsourced finance function role for quite a lot of companies. And then I just got busier and busier and thought I needed to take on some staff. So I did. I took on my first full-time employee just under 7 years ago.
Right.
And yeah, we've grown to got say 10 people working for me now.
10, fantastic.
Yeah.
And at some point you must
And
have
they're all
had
brilliant.
a normal job before you started working for yourself.
Yeah.
Why did you take the plunge then?
Uh, Gosh, that's a good question. I didn't get on particularly well with my boss.
Right.
And I just went in and handed in my notice one day because I couldn't take any more. I think we've all probably had bosses like that in the past. And there was a chap who worked there, well, not worked there. He did basically what I ended up doing for that firm. And he said, "Oh, if you're going, how have you thought about going self-employed? And I can get you full-time work effectively." He said, "Because you're great, and I need." So that's what happened. I just fell into it. It wasn't planned.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and I got sort of full-time work from day one of being self-employed, really, which is it's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? I feel like I'm a bit of a cheat with it, but
It was an opportunity, really. It was just an
yeah,
opportunity that arose, and
yeah,
you went. I don't think there's any template for starting a business, is there? It
no,
starts in many different ways.
yeah.
Brilliant.
You
Okay.
just got to have the desire to do it, the passion, and the can't remember the word, but the willingness to work hard
Yeah.
and do the best you can, really.
Fantastic. And obviously you talked about that you're successful in the sort of tech startup side of things. Do you have a sort of a secret sauce or something you do really well that separates you from the competition?
Yeah, and it's really easy. They well, my banner, or wrong way, tells you about it, but
Yeah.
just being a decent person, customer service,
Yeah.
responding. I mean, the amount of times I might leave it a day to respond to somebody. I say, "I'm really sorry I've taken so long to reply," and they go, "Well, what do you mean? My last accountant took 3 weeks to reply." And I mean that just astounds me and I think just generally customer service. I have another business which I alluded to earlier before the recording, which is a payroll software company. And again, in that, customer service is the most key thing. We want to help our customers. We want them to do the best they can. the same here. You know, we want our customers to do the absolute best that they can in their business, and we're here to sort out their finance. So I think it's really simple.
Do you think that's a trait of the accountancy market of a whole, not being fantastic at communication?
Um, Possibly. I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a lot better, but I think a lot of the more traditional accountancy firms don't see themselves as providing a service.
Yeah. Got you. Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be negative about them, but yeah, we hear it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And through, obviously you talked about someone who passed you work. Has there been a particular person since you've had your own business that has been an inspiration to you?
Not somebody in particular. I mean, I've got to say most of my customers, I find them inspirational because, you know, they're going out there. So we deal with a lot of techie startups. So I mean, it's really brave. You know, they go out there and they get venture capital from other people and then build some really, really fascinating stuff. You know, we've got customers that do AI and all that. You know, it's beyond me. And so they're all fairly inspirational.
Did that inspire you to start up your own software? But I know we're sort of talking about Red Fish Accountancy here. Did that inspire you to start up the software?
It did to a certain degree, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what inspired me to start up the software was not being able to find the right software for the practice,
Right.
and trying we tried a lot, and they just didn't match up to what we needed. So, having seen other clients do it in the tech world, I was like, yeah, okay, that's easy.
Right.
It's not,
Right. Yeah.
just in case, it's really not.
But it was a logical step for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Great. Okay. And what would you say your biggest learning has been from running your own business?
Um, it's really hard being on your own. Nobody tells you that when you go out to start a business. It's just you making all the decisions. You've got all that responsibility. It's really hard. So get a group of peers, you know, get into some sort of networking group, I guess, or I have a what's called a mastermind group. So I'm with other peers and we talk to each other. You know, if we've got a question, like we know they're going through the same experience. It's really hard on your own because you're the only one. You feel very alone.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Even your
Mm.
family don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it all the time, and you don't want to talk about it, take it home. So
Well,
yeah,
they just don't understand, and they can't
yeah,
make the decisions for you. You know, they're not involved unless they're involved in the business with you, in which case you're not on your own anyway.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's really good advice. Thank you for that. So over the last few years, there's been quite a lot of challenges for businesses, both small and large, I suppose. We've gone from Brexit to COVID to the economy and the fun of the end of last year. What have you done? What have you changed over that period of time in particular, or have you pivoted your business at all?
We were already pretty much online, everything cloud prior to COVID. So
Right,
when it hit, we were all working in the office though. When it hit, everyone just packed up their computers and went home,
right.
and they're still there.
Okay.
They all love working from home. So um, I, I never thought that could work that well before. So now I know it does. They all work harder, much better. It works really well working from home. So that I think has probably been the biggest change. And just trying to learn all the stuff. I mean, when COVID did hit, that's the biggest thing I think. Well, that and Brexit. Um, Everyone expected all our customers expected us to know about furlough and about the grants, and we were getting the same information they were.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was COVID. COVID was a big, and everyone was at home. Everyone else seemed to be at home in the garden, sunning themselves, going, "Oh dear, I'm on furlough." And accountants and payroll people were pulling their hair out, trying to learn all this new stuff and have all this extra work. And yeah, but we got through it. We got through it.
So it's a massive learning curve, I suppose. Huge change in a short amount of time in a
Yeah.
very weird environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the working from home, what sort of things did you have to change? Was there anything in particular that you changed? Obviously, people working from home, but was there things you had to do?
Uh, Um, well, we've implemented we have a daily meeting, which I think works really well. Just 10-15 minute meeting where we
Brilliant.
have a quick catch up. And if anybody's got any questions, they ask there. I also have a separate Q&A session. So if anybody's got any specific client queries that don't want to waste everyone's time doing, they bring up. We have a weekly meeting, and we meet up actually physically once a quarter. So I think, and that's really important to keep that team spirit going. But yeah, I mean, so they're just sort of slightly different things that we implemented. But other than that, as I say, we were pretty much remote, not remote. We were cloud based anyway.
Yeah.
So it's been less of a change for us than I think for a lot of firms.
Okay, brilliant. And within your industry, what do you think are going to be the challenges over the next 5 years?
God knows what the government will do.
Government.
HMRC. I mean, HMRC are a huge challenge
Right,
in terms of practically, you know, they're almost, I think anyone with a business will know this, they're almost impossible to deal with nowadays. Hopefully the government will put more resources into HMRC.
right,
The other sort of big challenges, I suppose, as an industry, we've got a lot of changes coming with R&D tax credits, which affect a lot of my clients because obviously we're, say, startups, but techie startups. R&D is quite key to our clients. And just nobody ever really knows what's happening with the economy, do they?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, you just, one of the big challenges over the last year, and I think this has been every business all over the world, is recruiting good people.
Right.
And I can't see that really improving anytime soon. It certainly doesn't seem to have been. So, I mean, I think that's one of the big challenges is recruiting. And just I'm quite lucky the industries that my customers are in are pretty, they seem pretty stable. But I mean, certainly there's a lot of industries out there who are really struggling. And I think that's going to have a big knock-on effect overall, obviously for those people individually, but also for the economy as a whole.
Really good. Thank you. And on the more positive side, what are your aspirations for the business over the next 5 years?
I really want to get to the point where I can semi-retire from the
Right.
business.
Okay.
I'm older than I look. I am planning to having some sort of, not quite a management buyout, an employee ownership trust with
Right.
my business because my team are fantastic and they will be able to take it on. And that's my biggest aspiration is I want to grow a little bit more. And maybe a handful more employees, and then have my leadership team sort of take it over and take it forward into 2020, 30 and beyond, I guess.
Oh, right. Brilliant. And enjoy the fruits of your labor, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And rather than looking in the future, let's look in the past a bit. If you could start again, is there anything you would do differently?
Should have thought about this one a bit more. Um, I think I would be braver sooner.
Yeah.
I've let things happen. I've let the business happen to me rather than me driving the business forward. Apart from the last couple of years, I've changed and I've been much more driving behind the business. But yeah, I think I'd have done it sooner.
Right.
I'd have done it sooner. I'd have been braver and done it sooner.
Fantastic. Was it just taking more risk? Was that just getting in front and really sort of like you said, driving the business rather than it driving you?
Taking more risk in the first place.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that the software that we all use nowadays and the cloud has made it much easier to be able to do that. But I could have done it. I could have done it a few years earlier.
Yeah.
Um, but I might not have had the right team then, because I've definitely got the right team, and that's what it's all about. So
Yeah.
But just be a bit, yeah, I think be a bit braver, take a few more risks, be more confident in myself, believe in myself as well.
Okay. That's really good advice. And your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self if you go back not too far?
Oh gosh. Just a couple of years.
Yeah, just a couple of years.
Uh, what advice? Yeah, be brave, I think,
Right.
and you've got one life. Go and enjoy it. I think one of the things that I didn't do when I was younger and I should have done was travel more.
Mm.
You've got more energy when you're younger and you can go and sleep on hostel beds and things and not, I think in terms of that's not in terms of business, that's in terms of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and just be brave and believe in yourself.
Yeah. Okay. It's really good. And are there any sort of new projects that you're working on that you'd like to talk about at all today? Anything, any new services or anything like that that you're working on?
I haven't got any new services at Red Fish, but obviously at my other company, Fresh Pay, the payroll software, that's my new exciting thing. Accountancy, there's only so much you can do. We do things like, EMI schemes, SEIS and EIS. They're all the enterprise investment schemes and seed enterprise investment schemes, which are really good tax breaks for the investors. We deal with all of that stuff as well. But yeah, I think the most exciting thing I'm working on at the moment is FreshPay. It's sort of cloud payroll software. It's specifically aimed at accountancy practices and bureaus,
Okay.
but it's also very suitable for single companies. And it's really exciting developing software. Seeing what you want come to life and be usable and seeing people using it is really exciting.
Fantastic. Sounds very exciting. And if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way of contacting you?
Probably pick up the phone to us or drop us an email, really. Everything's on our website, redfishaccounts.co.uk. Yeah, or drop us an email, or ring us on 01903 900 151.
Fantastic. Well, it's been really good to talk to you, and thank you again for spending this time with us, Jennie.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
obviously,
Paul.
all the best for the future, both with the accountancy firm and the software.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Great to
again,
talk to you.
and you.